welcome to the Beauty Know-It-All. Let's talk about catching the beauty bug. And by that I don't mean being obsessed with beauty, although I presume you are because you're watching me. I'm talking about probiotic skincare. And I'm particularly fascinated about probiotic skincare because I've been really honest about this, and there is a link to a video below. I have had a lifelong adult struggle with IBS, and I swear by probiotics. I take them every single day. And I know, having been a health journalist for years, that it's really important that you have a healthy gut microbiome, and that is the balance of good and bad bacteria in your intestines. And I've interviewed lots of experts about it, and they talk about things like mental health and intestinal health and bloating and IBS and inflammation and all those things. They're beginning to discover that this all-important balance of good bacteria in your gut has on in your entire body. Then I started to research the effect that this good and bad bacteria have on your skin. In 2012, a study was undertaken that showed that infants that developed eczema under the age of 1 had lower levels than normal, lower levels than a healthy, of a good gut microbiome diversity. That is, the more bacteria you have, more of these friendly bacteria you have in your gut, the better it was for the skin of a child. And then I looked at a study that was carried out in Korea that showed that patients with acne who were given antibiotics alone didn't respond as well as patients who were given antibiotics and probiotics. So this link between gut health and skin was beginning to build in the scientific community. Not surprisingly, skincare companies followed suit, and they are arguing that it's not just your gut bacteria, but the superficial bacteria on your skin that can also have an effect on your skin health. And this makes sense, obviously, because we know that, for example, things like rosacea and acne can be affected by a balance of bugs on the skin. If you have, for example, too many of one bacteria, you can get acne, or you can have too much of one microorganism and it's linked to rosacea. But can prebiotics and probiotics affect that bacterial balance on your skin? So I went in search of a scientist who could answer the questions, obviously, because I'm obsessed with scientific skincare. So the gentleman I tracked down was head of R&D at Elizabeth Arden, and his name's Art Pellegrino, and I interviewed him a number of times. I've interviewed him over the years, mainly about ceramides, because obviously Arden are famous for their ceramides. And I wanted to talk to him about this role of probiotics and prebiotics in skincare. And what he explained to me was that the probiotics that you take in a tablet form for your health are fundamentally different to what is in skincare. So probiotics that you take in a tablet form or a yogurt form are live bacteria, and obviously you can't put live bacteria in skincare. So what they put in skincare is prebiotics, and they are bioferments. Often actually they're bioferments of live bacteria, but then the live bacteria are killed off, and then what they produce in this bioferment is what is put into skincare. So for example, Orveda have a bioferment of black tea and kombucha, and Aurelia have a bioferment of a bifida bacteria, which you'll have seen in probiotics that you take. But it's the byproduct of that is actually put in the skincare, and it's these skincare ingredients that encourage the growth of healthy bacteria on the skin. So what do healthy bacteria do on the skin? Well, they fight off the bad bacteria, so they help fight off the bacteria that cause things like rosacea and acne. But more importantly, and this is what I thought was really interesting, is they have a role to play in a healthy barrier function. And the barrier function of your skin is what protects you from the outside world. Your skin's primary role in life is to keep things out and to keep good things in. It's to keep all the fluids in your body and keep bacteria, viruses, sunshine, irritants, pollution out. If you have a bad barrier function, your skin is dry, sensitive, prone to redness, prone to acne, prone to rosacea, and also prone to premature aging. But if you have a good barrier function, it's not. It's more able to cope with the stresses and strains of everyday life. So think of probiotics as being a little bit like your daily probiotic that you take in the morning. So you would use it as a first step in skincare to try and make your skin as healthy as possible. And I found that really fascinating. So it's not that you're going to get any massively important short-term gains, but you're investing in your skin's long-term future. I'm going to list some of the products below that I think are really interesting, but the ones I think that are most exciting are the Elizabeth Arden Superstart ones, because they are the first ones that are available on the high street. And I want to talk about 3 products in particular, because when I first met Art Pellegrino, there was only one product, and that was the Superstart Skin Essence, which when it was launched, there was nothing else like it on the high street. There it is there. It's loaded with hyaluronic acid. So basically it's a supercharged serum, but it's now got twice the level of what they call probiotics, but are actually prebiotics in them. So the idea is to encourage your skin to be as healthy as possible. So that's one product, but now they've got a cleanser, and you'll have seen this on my Insta stories. They've got a cleanser, which I think is really interesting, which is their Superstart cleanser. And it's so clever. It's a mousse to clay formula, again loaded with probiotics, because one of the things that a clever prebiotic balance can do is it can help rebalance the skin's pH. Again, it's a way of perfecting the skin's barrier function. And this one goes on as a mousse, and then you leave it and it turns to a clay mask. It's very clever. And then you'll not be surprised to hear a sheet mask. This one is a biocellulose one, so it sticks more closely to the contours of your skin. And this is loaded with the same probiotic emulsion as found in Superstart. And I think at this time of the year, they're quite nice products to use, because if your skin is feeling dry or irritated or tight, the central heating's on, it's cold outside. If you're lucky enough, you might be abroad skiing, or even if you're traveling abroad on a plane, you're going somewhere and the temperature is changing between hot and cold, dry and humid, then that's where these things play a really important role, because yes, obviously they're going to hydrate the skin, but they're also going to calm and soothe the skin. It's the same with other products that are on the market as well. Let me show you one that literally has just launched, and that's the Orveda prebiotic emulsion. This is the one with the kombucha and black tea in. And this one comes, it's a really, really, really lovely serum, and it comes with a silicone reusable mask. So you put the serum on, you put the silicone mask on the top, and that traps it in so it gets forced into the skin. It's very interesting that until Elizabeth Arden came along, the prebiotic, probiotic market was super high end. Aurelia, Orveda, Nude, they were the companies that pioneered this technology, but the problem is, and I'm going to be really honest with you here, they're really expensive. And if you're going to use this as an additional first step, then in a way you need something that isn't going to cost too much money, because as Art Pellegrino says, it's an additional first step. So the way I would use it is I would use Superstart first thing in the morning, because I would use it as a replacement for my normal bog standard hyaluronic acid, because you'd have your hyaluronic acid, well this is hyaluronic acid with prebiotics in it. What they're doing is they're encouraging the healthy flora and fauna, as it's known, to balance on the skin. I know it's a strange thing to think about bacteria and these microbiomes having a positive effect on the skin, but I really think they can. I'd be interested to know if any of you have tried any prebiotic or probiotic skincare and what you think of it, and specifically if you've got a sensitized skin or a dry skin, or maybe you've tested it and you've got acne or rosacea. Will you let me know? I think this is an interesting video for you to listen to. It's certainly an interesting video for me to research, and I think moving forward, I think you're going to find that companies like Elizabeth Arden are a little bit ahead of the game with this. Anyway, I want your feedback. I want you to tell me what you think, or if you've tried any prebiotic or probiotic skincare, and where you fit it into your regime as well. I think it should go directly on to cleanse skin. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because that's the layer that you're trying to target the most. And I think it's very important if you want a calming anti-inflammatory skincare regime. I'm going to list all the products below, from the most expensive to the Elizabeth Arden ones. Obviously I'm going to work my way down. There are about 5 or 6 brands out there that are doing this, and I do think it's a watch this space moment on skincare. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for indulging in my beauty bug. Let me know what you think. I'll see you soon.